We are not buying from brands and businesses, we're buying from people. So make sure that you're communicating with your audience and getting their feedback so that you can make the improvements that are necessary for your business growth. And that is how you bulletproof your business, Jason Ramsey.
Welcome to the Love Your Brand podcast. If you're looking for real conversations with real people, you're in the right place. Let's go!
Let's go. Welcome to the Love Your Brand show. What's up, everybody?
What up, fam?
It's Jason Ramsey here, aka the Chief, with my main man, Jay Hill, Jay Thrill, Jay Hizzle.
Jay Hizzy.
He's got about 800 nicknames. Call him what you want.
Well, be kind.
But be kind. I think today, what do we want to talk about today, Jay Hill?
Man, today we were talking about how to bulletproof your business. You know, we were chatting earlier. You can use the verbiage bulletproof. You can use the verbiage recession proof, but it's really all about bulletproofing it. And, you know, I think what we were talking about, Jason, there's like 5 specific areas of how to do that. So it doesn't matter if you're in B2B, B2C, doesn't matter your industry, doesn't matter what you're doing. Take these 5 principles, implement them, and you set your business up to be bulletproofed. That's
right. These are very simple and powerful strategies that you can utilize. Totally. 5 steps.
I got 5 on
for you to implement. Taking it old school. 5 steps to bulletproof your business. Who doesn't want to bulletproof their business? I don't know. So quick highlight of the topics. Number 1, visual storytelling. And we're going to go over. Number 2, interactive content. About went to number 3. Number 3, customer success stories and testimonials.
It's a big word, y'all.
Number 4, omni-channel presence. If you're like, what's that? We'll tell you. Number 5, data-driven decisions.
It's good stuff.
That's key.
You know, like you said, I mean, it's very simple stuff because so often I think in marketing, we overcomplicate everything. We go in and we think we have to go so high level with all these different activities. But, you know, the things that we're going to discuss, really they're building the brand, building the foundation. You know, they give you the stuff to start it off and to build it and then to continue to do. Because as we talk about branding's always evolving, constantly moving. You don't get there and stop and you're there for decades. It's constantly going to change. But implement these things and it sets you up for success. And then you can just continue to do it.
So guys, standing in a world where brands are constantly competing for customers' attention, we've developed this ebook that's completely for free. We'll add the description in the video. You'll find it on our social media, eventually on our website, LinkedIn. Please go download it. It's free. It will at least get you going in the right direction. It's got blanks you could fill in. You can get familiar with the subject matter and give it a go yourself. That way, if you need to interact with an expert or if you're just doing it internally, at least you have some kind of guidance in what you're doing.
Go in the show notes to this video. Just go to the bottom, click on the link, and you'll get it delivered straight to your inbox.
Exactly. So number 1, visual storytelling. Actionable step. We've got this broken down into 2 parts. So each bullet point of the bulletproof will have an actionable step and an execution example. So you'll have a live example so you can really think it through and see it. So with visual storytelling, the actionable step is create a visual storytelling strategy that reflects your brand's narrative. This will be a compelling story to communicate the overall essence, values, and identity of your brand to your audience. Incorporate consistent themes, colors, and imagery across your social media posts, website, and all your marketing materials. An execution example, develop visually captivating videos and photos to express brand personality. relatable content that's paired with strong, consistent messaging with imagery ensures that you engage with your current potential customers as well as create a recognizable brand.
So let's pause there for a second and kind of hone in on what visual storytelling is and why we should do it. Because what Jason's sharing is these are things you can go into it and actually do this. Do this for your business. Do this for your brand. But why? So often people, personal brands, businesses, the like, we get inconsistent with our brand. Let's focus on social media as an example, which is a tremendously valuable vehicle to utilize today. But people are posting various aspects of it and they're inconsistent with their brand. And social media is one of the greatest opportunities, an example to use visual storytelling to where I could pop up on Instagram. I immediately see these top 9 images that you post on Instagram. There can be a theme through those 9 images. There needs to be brand consistency with your colors, with your fonts, with your logos, with your typography, all these elements. Your messaging, if I click on this one or I click on that one, I need to see a consistent messaging of the values of our organization, the problem that we're solving for our clients. And so the visual storytelling aspect of it, so often we overlook this because we just go into content mode. We go into, all right, I'm going to push out this, I'm going to push out that. I go to a networking event, I take pictures, I do this, I take pictures, and I just post it without that strategy. So this is one of the keys. This is the foundation for your brand. And so you always start here and then start to implement this.
Exactly. So we've given you a few to get started. So once you download it, you can see it and then fill in the gaps, fill in your own, take a crack at it. Number 2, 5 steps to bulletproof your business. Interactive content. Actionable step. Develop interactive content such as polls, quizzes, and surveys to engage your audience. Encourage participation by asking questions related to your brand or industry and use the insights gained to tailor your future content. So, keyword interact, engage, polls, quizzes. That can be embeds in your emails with games. That's getting pretty popular now.
Yeah.
Any way to engage people with your content. An execution example, social media is a great place to start, but consider taking it one step further and hosting live webinars or virtual workshops where attendees can learn about industry trends, product features, and best practices. Encourage participation by allowing attendees to ask questions in real time and participate in interactive polls or quizzes. Also, don't forget the chat features. If you're having a live webinar or whatever, make sure that you engage the audience by asking them to ask questions in the chat, posting emojis for a particular subject matter, giving yes and no's, word clouds. Keep them engaged if you're doing this remotely with a webinar.
I like interactive content. I like this second part. I think this is such a good opportunity to start building a community. And so with our brands, one of our main focuses is to build a community, to create people that are raving fans for our product, to create brand ambassadors that go and communicate about our brand. And with interactive content, you can do this test right now. If you go on your social media and you post something, you may get a few likes. You may even get a few comments, but post something where you're asking people for their feedback, which is taking a poll. And, again, let's take Instagram as in just, put the questions, put a picture, put a topic, and then put the questions and put yes, no, maybe, or whatever it is, and watch your engagement go through the roof. Because everybody, we want to talk. We want to share our opinion. We consume content. We see what other brands post. But when you ask, everybody's like, well, I want to share. I want to tell you what I think. And watch how these posts get more engagement than any of your other posts, because we all like to talk. We like to talk about ourselves. We like to share our story. And this past week, I was on a masterclass through this organization, and they did a 1-hour session every day for 5 days straight. And when we talk about the interactive aspect of this on live, this was conducted through Zoom, and the presenter and the moderator constantly they were throwing out words like, hey, if this is for you, type fire in the comments. So somebody's typing fire, and it keeps them engaged. It keeps them interacting with the brand. And, throughout it, hey, tell me your number one way you struggled. People are typing it. The more that you can get people to engage, the more real estate your brand is taking up in their mind. And so taking polls and quizzes is step one, but if you can get into that live interaction, it's going to take it, to the next level. And we have in this PDF, there was a survey by Sprout Social talking about the importance of social media. It said 65% of consumers feel more connected to brands that use social media to engage with their audience. 65%. That's massive. Jason, we were having a call a couple of weeks ago with somebody, and there was the question was coming up about how do you teach the value of social media? The equity that social media makes in an organization. And there's a lot of time you can't really put a price tag on it, from a financial perspective, but there is immense value in leveraging social media. The statistic, 65% feel more connected.
Well, exactly. 65% of consumers feel more connected to brands that use social media That's to massive. Engage with their audience. We had the question of why is social media valuable? Where's the value in social media? How does it relate to a company's value? And to be honest, I was a little taken back because it's kind of like it's the 21st century. It's like, how does it not?
Right.
I'm like,
that's a good point. Convince me that it doesn't.
It touches every major component of your customer journey, of your sales, it touches every KPI. I was quite honestly a little shocked. Anyway, needless to say, how does it not impact? I was telling Jonathan, I'm like, if I'm evaluating two companies to buy and company A has killer sales, let's just call it 5 million in sales, right? Company B, same product, 5 million in sales. One company has a phenomenal social engagement, a phenomenal social following. Their brand equity is thriving. They're pushing out. They're educating content. They're nurturing customers. Automatically, I see that valuation goes up minimum 40%, minimum, because I see a way to upsell, to bring the customers along for a longer journey. My forecast is a lot stronger. I see the ability to launch new products. I see the ability to launch another competing company even, or a parallel company, and move that audience, shift their mindset over to anything else that I'm offering. It's so compelling and offers so much value to an organization. Like I said, how does that not come into play when you're looking at a company's worth? The same with brand equity. And audience and community, I'm gonna keep beating the dead horse, is key moving forward. You've got to have those if you would like to continue to thrive and bulletproof your business.
Community building starts on social media. If I bring this example I just shared a second ago, I'm on this masterclass. It's live for 5 days for 1 hour each day.
Is that truth?
What?
Is that for real?
Which part?
Last week?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Why?
Because I was on a masterclass.
Oh, yeah, you were the evening session. Mine was over lunch. And but with this, the live sessions were on Zoom, right?
Okay.
And so we're engaging, but they also had us go into Facebook group. So this group was created. Okay. So Zoom is not social media, but that's where the content's being delivered. Now they put all these people that were on Zoom. We can see each other's faces. We see each other, how we're commenting. We're starting to learn each other. We're starting to build a relationship. Then they put us inside this Facebook group, social media, to where now we're starting to engage. We're starting to help each other out inside. We're starting to talk to each other. We're starting to build relationships. We're starting to, as Donald Miller taught us, the 3 stages: the curiosity, the enlightenment, the commitment. And so they did a brilliant job of putting us in social media to build that community, to foster the community. And that community, as it grows, we're going to start talking about the brand. We're going to start talking about the life changes that happen through that. And so all that goes into this step number 2, which is the interactive content. And so think of ways of how you can leverage social media and get your audience being interactive and being engaged with your brand.
I was listening to segue off that. This has to deal specifically with LinkedIn and nurturing your LinkedIn presence. He said what's most important is immediately when you want to grow your LinkedIn presence, what do you think? You think about more posting, more frequently. Let's say you want to go from posting once a week to 5 days a week. And you think you're doing something, right? He said, you're missing a main component here. He said, I tell all my clients that that's irrelevant. You post 3 times a week, post 2 times a week. But you know what you ramp up? Your engagement. He said, for every post that you do, comment at least 30 times. He said, go to other people's posts and not only comment, add more value to what they're sharing. So if you see someone sharing, hey, here's the top 10 things to do when you're presenting, right? Maybe say, hey, that is freaking awesome. But you know what? Here's a number 11 that I find very valuable. Right? Lean into the conversation.
100%.
Engage people. But don't just do it once. Do it multiple times, even in the same post. He said minimum have 3 comments in. And also, if they post, try to get in as early as possible.
You want the first comments.
So you can ride the trade winds of that post, especially if it's someone reputable with a huge following.
Right.
You can have a LinkedIn account and have 5 followers. And if all you do is engage properly, you can bring traffic to your LinkedIn profile. And as long as you have your LinkedIn profile optimized with the right call to action, you can build a business just from doing that alone. Blew my mind. Never thought of it that way. We're going over this about the engagement, the interactive content, and just came to mind. I just thought that was such a powerful nugget that I wanted to share with you guys.
Isn't it funny how it's the simple things that we miss?
So simple.
What I was saying earlier, we overcomplicate marketing. We try to think, what are the latest trends? What are the latest technologies? How can we leverage AI and go into all these things? And I always say, take it back, become a human. When somebody shares something, I'm a big proponent of complimenting people. If you see something, a good quality, a good trait about something or something that somebody does, compliment them. And that's what engaging on their post on social media is. They put something of value. Great job. Thank you for sharing that. Your stuff is always top notch. Like, fluff their ego, but be honest with it because they're going to feel good. Because in turn, they also are going to start commenting on your stuff. Okay, so you build that relationship and maybe they have a massive following. If they comment on your stuff and depending on the platform, their network, LinkedIn, is going to see that they're commenting on your stuff now. So then you're taking their audience and bringing it in to your swimming pool, seeing the content that you're pushing out. And so all you have to do is be a human. All you have to do is interact and don't make it about you. Make it about other people, because good marketing is when you talk about others. Bad marketing is when you talk about yourself. So keep that principle.
And also, before you go in guns blazing and just connect with everybody, try to at least comment, engage a minimum of 5 to 6 times before you go and you do that connection.
Before you slide in those DMs.
Try to hit that in-mail or whatever you're just trying to engage and connect so that you could be somewhat familiar. We always talk about brand touches. It's the same thing with your personal brand. So comment, educate, give away information, then connect. Then you have more of a increased opportunity. If you do have a conversation to have with this particular person or brand, they're more, there's a bigger chance that they will connect with you.
So it's good, man. We can stay on this point for a while. I remember speaking at an event a couple of years ago. One of my slides, it said, "Don't be a creeper." And what I meant by that was, have you ever seen where you open up a social media platform and you see that people had liked, you go to your notifications to see who had engaged with your stuff, and there was like one person that liked your past 20 posts. That's being a creeper. Like there's something they want to get out of this. They're going to reach out to you. You're going to go to your DMs. They're going to be in there like saying they can do something for you. They're just trying to like it. Be organic and natural, the same way you would build and foster any kind of relationship when you meet somebody. When you look at their content, and this is kind of a pro tip right here. So write this down. When you look at their content, find somebody on social media that you follow, that you want to get their business or work with in some capacity. Look at their stuff when they post it. Slowly start liking their post. That's it. After a number of likes, then go to the comment, to where you start to comment on their post. And then before you ever reach out on InMail through LinkedIn or direct message in the other platforms, make sure that you had liked stuff and commented first before going straight to the DM. And so that's the way to slowly build a digital relationship these days. Said it before. It's how I met my wife online. And the same thing applies in business.
Awesome.
Do we go to number 3?
Yeah. Number 3, customer success stories.
That's a tough one for you,
Customer success stories and testimonials.
SUCCESS.
Actionable step. Showcase the success stories of your clients.
Nah, we need ad-lib. We need AI to come help Jason speak.
Something about the success.
Success.
I don't know. Success stories of your clients and partners to build credibility and attract new business opportunities. These real-world examples of your products or services in action serve as a compelling proof point of your value proposition and differentiate you in the marketplace.
So let's pause there, Jason. With that, everybody knows that we're trying to be sold by brands. If a brand is in business, they have a product they're trying to sell, and nobody ever wants to be sold. And so when we put out marketing messages and marketing collateral from a brand perspective, we're constantly looking at that through the lens of, you're just trying to sell me. However, look at when you go to Amazon. You go to a product on Amazon, you type it in. The first thing at the top of Amazon is a picture. Swipe through, maybe you see a video of a user working with it. Then you scroll down, you see the pricing, but you know what you're doing on Amazon. You're going to the bottom of the page to see the reviews because you want to see what people say about the product. We're going to make our product look great. Nobody's going to say, "Hey, our product's mediocre. I hope you buy it. It might change your life. It might make your life worse." We're not going to say that. We're going to say our product's the best. So we want to hear from real people that have used this product. And when I look at reviews, I look at the 5-star, see what they really love about it, and also look at the 1-star and see what is it that made that a 1-star. How can you have such contrasting reviews, a 5 and a 1? A lot of times you look at that 1, it could be like, it wasn't even related to the product. It was like, the delivery driver for FedEx showed up and he was just a jerk and he didn't put my package on my door. He put it out in the front yard. So I give it a 1-star. It's like, that has nothing to do with the product. But go see what the people are saying instead of what the brand is saying, because they're going to have the experience that you're going to have if you move forward with that product.
And the reason why we have it in here is because it sounds like a no-brainer. But it does take action. It takes execution to actively pursue these testimonials, right? When you build a rapport with your client or your customer, whatever you're selling, just make sure you have the appropriate funnel in place to get these reviews. If it's via a link they click in your email signature or a survey they fill out and you take them to your Google business listing, or if it's a video testimonial that you want to include on your website, make sure you hone in and you guide them on what kind of feedback that you're wanting.
Right.
Because there may be particular KPIs that, we may look at with a company, say they're B2B, they may be looking at a KPI that's different than a B2C. So based on the KPIs and how you want to showcase this testimonial, make sure you offer a little guidance. Because if you kind of leave it ended, then it may not fit the bill for what you're intended to use it for.
And with a customer testimonial, people rarely will go write a testimonial just without being asked. And so you have to ask. And we all in our businesses, we know our top clients. We know our top customers. We know our repeat customers, to where you truly want to ask good customers that are going to give favorable feedback for your product. And you have to ask them. And I always encourage my clients that there's a proper script to follow. If you just ask somebody, hey, Jason, would you give them a testimonial about my business? You may say something that's not related to what I want to communicate, what I want to sell. You may say, Jonathan's company is great. They're kind. Their products are good. But if you give a script, then you can take that testimonial and you can weave that into your messaging on your website, for an example. And so I always encourage, there's 3 parts that I use for a testimonial. It's like, number 1, tell me what business was like before working with me. And so they're going to write, before I found Jonathan, I was discouraged. I was frustrated. I was overspending on marketing. Then the next part is, what was life like after you worked with me? And they say, but once I found Jonathan, my numbers increased, my online visibility increased, blah, 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 whatever it is, because you're giving them a script and they're honestly answering it just based on your script. And then you say, and what would you tell to somebody else? If you're looking, to elevate your brand exposure and online visibility, don't go anywhere else, go right here. So then you have a script they wrote in a testimonial, which is perfect. So you put it on your website, you put it on social media, you can leverage it on all these locations, but you're getting them to say what you want to say, but it comes from their lips directly. And then pro tip here is, people get hung up on, I don't want to ask for a review. If you're working with a brand and their business thrives off reviews, when you're in person with them, write a review for them. So Jason, if we're here together, we both have our phones out. Say, hey, Jason, we're talking about reviews. What's the best way? How can I serve you? Like, what platform would help you with reviews? You may say Google reviews are what I'm trying to grow. I've loved working with you. I'm going to go right now and write it. They're going to be like, thank you so much. Right after you write their review, say, would you mind doing the same thing for me? And because you just wrote their review, they're going to be inclined to do that right then. And I'm not talking about being dishonest. If you've done business together and it's a good experience, they have no reason not to write a review for you.
Yes, exactly. Another pro tip, I think I brought this up during our company meeting. You almost want to put your mindset into a reporter mindset. So if you're talking with your client and you have a delivery and they're just like, oh my gosh, this is so freaking awesome. Y'all are rock stars. I can't believe that you nailed down this time, this time frame. It was unbelievable, the deliverable. Say, hey, type it out and just be like, hey, do you mind if I use that? Right? Can we use that? So maybe it's just a sound bite that you can grab from them and use them as a post on your website. So always be ready to remember. And if you're doing communications via email, you might have sound bites in your email. You might have sound bites in your project management tool. So you've got sources to where you could pull in testimonials.
100%.
Right? Just keep that in mind. So let's move on to number 4, omni-channel strategy here. Your omni-channel strategy.
What does that even mean, Jason? Talk to us.
Omni-channel is essentially the lead nurturing and user engagement approach through multiple platforms, all devices, all your social media, any touch point that you engage with your brand. So I'm talking something as simple as your desktop website. If it's user-friendly and engaging, also make sure that it's responsive and it's mobile-friendly so that they can engage and just as well on your mobile device. Your social media outlets, make sure that your services, offerings, any of your products are available on your social media outlets. Same consistent messaging and branding everywhere. So exactly what it means, omni-channel presence. So spread the love through all the channels, not just one place, so they're easier to access. with any customer preference.
And what we have in this PDF, so if you download it and the workable action stuff that you do on it, you write out what platforms to utilize for my business. And if you feel stuck on that, what platforms to use, think kind of from a strategic perspective, because I'm always going to drive it back to strategy. And so I've worked with clients as an example into where we took a segment of their customer list and we were trying to sell another product to this specific segment. And we created a whole strategy around it through omni-channel presence to where we would send out a letter to these people. Maybe we'd send out a postcard to these people. We ended up sending a book in the mail for them to read. We drove them with QR codes to landing pages. We did different activities on social media that was entirely part of that whole omni-channel presence. And so where we can get stuck and get in overwhelm is just thinking I have to show up everywhere. And so that's why I want to caution. Omni-channel presence doesn't just mean you need to show up on social media. You need to do this on LinkedIn. You need to do this on your website. You might need to do those things, but hone in and get clear on who are you serving? What are the goals that we're building with this campaign? And then determine which platforms to show up on.
Which brings me back to strategy. And it will be on probably me and our next podcast. But the topic will be, what is strategy?
I like it. What is
growth strategy? What is business strategy? And why do people not like to spend money on it? That's going to be our next topic. That's
that.
Mind blower. All right, number 5, data-driven decisions. I think this is a no-brainer. I always say when you're making decisions, it's good to have data. It's good to have data to back up the decisions that you're making. There's also, intuition, gut decisions that I strongly feel like are needed in your journey. But actionable step, utilize analytical tools like Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, Mixpanel, etc., to track key performance and indicators, KPIs such as engagement, website traffic, and conversion rates. Analyze the data regularly to identify trends and insights, then adjust your strategy accordingly to optimize results.
I think 2 components to data-driven decisions is number one, you have these tools like Google Analytics to where you're running campaigns. It is black and white. There's no gray area here. You're spending this much money. You're getting these kind of clicks, these kind of conversions, these kind of engagement. It is black and white. KPIs are very easy to measure. The other part is to ask your audience. This is where there could be some gray area. So often I encourage a client as they're doing business and they have a handful of clients or great number of clients, but they've kind of lost a pulse on how they're serving them. And they just make an assumption that, well, if they're sending me work, they're paying me money today, then it must be a good relationship. That's not always necessarily true, because I could be spending money with you, but I'm shopping elsewhere and I'm just waiting for the right competition to you that's going to pique my interest. And then I'm going to leave you and move forward here. And I always encourage clients to reach out to your audience periodically and ask them, just check in on a pulse. How can I serve you better? What's the number one thing that we do well? Why did you choose us over the competition? And to let them speak. And you might get feedback like, actually, Jonathan, I've been kind of disappointed over the last 3 months. I haven't heard from your team. Your communication is sparse. I'm not seeing this or I'm not seeing that. You wouldn't have gotten that data unless you asked those questions. And so you can lean on Google Analytics and all these technical tools and softwares that we have, but you also have to talk to your audience directly. And that brings it back to the human element. We are not buying from brands and businesses. We're buying from people. So make sure that you're communicating with your audience and getting their feedback so that you can make the improvements that are necessary for your business growth. And that is how you bulletproof your business, Jason Ramsey.
And it's a necessary step that you need to do is, even if you can back up your results, right now, I think in history, I was looking at a stat, it's across the board in multiple industries, almost across every one, we've got the highest churn rate that there has ever been. And when I say highest churn rate, I'm saying like an example, you've had companies that used to stay with agencies for a decade, for 20 years. Now we're looking at 3 to 6 months, a year. I call it the grass is always greener phase that we're in right now. Unfortunately, it's the same with everything that we're a consumer-driven society. You scroll, you look online. Everybody is serving their best, their best version of themselves, or even fake version of themselves. They're always looking, and it looks like the grass is always greener on the other side. You have companies coming in, selling the world. Hey, you're gonna 10x your money. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. And these people are getting bombarded by every which direction. They're getting remarketed to. They're getting emailed. They're getting texts. Yep. When they're scrolling, they're seeing ads. So the grass is always greener, my friends. Right? That's the moral of the story. And the churn rate is as high as ever right now. People, I don't want to say loyalty has fallen short. I'm saying it's becoming a normal business practice, which is bad in general. So we've got to help change that mindset. We've got to adjust the culture back to where loyalty matters, human interaction matters. Hell, a handshake matters, right? I remember back in the day, most of the best business opportunities that I've garnered has been from a handshake. And it's like, if you can't stand by your word, what can you stand by? Mm-hmm. Food for thought. That's a real thing. So that number 5, really hone in on it. And if you need help with that, always feel free to reach out.
I believe the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. It's greener where you water it.
I like that.
But with this PDF, like we said, look in the show notes. Download this PDF, 5 steps to bulletproof your business. Just as a recap, number 1, visual storytelling. Number 2, interactive content. Number 3, customer success stories and testimonials. Number 4, omni-channel presence. And number 5, data-driven decisions. Download this PDF, implement these steps, bulletproof your business.
Take your business from a 5 to a 10. Also, one little plug, we're now offering a free visibility check. Go to TalenAlexander.com/check-brand-visibility for a free brand visibility assessment.
That's also in the show notes.
Or contact us. Thanks again, fellas, ladies, gents, gals.
Till the next episode.
Peace.
Thanks for listening and joining us on the Love Your Brand podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode, and remember, share the love.